So the gameplay you're seeing right now is Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, and I'm currently doing a playthrough of it on one of my other channels, so if you're interested, the link to that is in the description. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare is one of the greatest DLCs I've ever played, and I'm having a lot of fun playing through it again. I'm kind of surprised I have an appetite to play a game that's set in a zombie apocalypse during an actual apocalypse. Well, it's not an actual apocalypse, but you know what I mean. Things are really crazy in the real world, especially with the Rona and all the protests that are going on around the world about police brutality and all that. It just seems like these days you can't escape the news, you can't escape all the shit that's going on, but video games have always been a reliable way to escape from all the bullshit in the real world. Not so much lately. It seems like all the bullshit that's going on in the real world is somehow making its way over to video games, the one place where you can escape from all the bullshit. And when I mean bullshit, I don't mean police brutality is bullshit or coronavirus is bullshit, but it's bullshit having to hear about it 24 hours a fucking day. Like, we get it, the world fucking sucks. I don't need to be reminded about it every 5 fucking minutes. But here we have these gaming companies like Activision Blizzard taking a stance against police brutality. They made such a huge stance by delaying their Modern Warfare season. I'm not exactly sure what that does to help stop police brutality. I mean, it would be one thing if they said, okay, proceeds from our battle pass will go to a charity or something that stops police brutality. Like, they're not doing anything. They're just saying, oh, we support Black Lives Matter, so we're gonna delay our Modern Warfare season by a week because we stand for human rights, and we're gonna say, no, you shouldn't be playing video games right now. You should be marching out there in the streets. You should be protesting Black Lives Matter because that's the right thing to do. You need to stand up for human rights, the same way Activision stood up for the people of Hong Kong, whose human rights are currently being violated by the Chinese Communist Party, right? Activision definitely stands up for the people of Hong Kong, right? Like, when will people realize that these corporations do not give a fuck about you? How about all those companies that had those rainbow flags out there for Pride Month in June? One of those companies was Bethesda. They have the rainbow flag all over their social media accounts in every region except for the Middle East. Bethesda Middle East, why don't you have a rainbow flag? Maybe that's because in the Middle East there's zero tolerance for LGBT. Bethesda's not taking a brave stand in support of LGBT rights because LGBT rights, that's the mainstream thing. Like, if you ask the average person in the United States or Australia or UK, wherever they have all these rainbow flags, yeah, most people are gonna say, yeah, I support gay rights. I support LGBT rights. But if you ask people in Saudi Arabia what they think about gay rights, yeah, you'll get different results. But if Bethesda was so brave, you think they would still take that stand? No, we support LGBT rights no matter what part of the world you live in. But they care more about money than anything else because, well, they're a corporation, which you shouldn't be surprised about. But when they pretend that they care about these higher causes that are worth so much more than video games and worth so much more than making money, it's easy to tell they're full of shit. And that's the thing about all of these video game corporations, all of these corporations in general. They don't give a fuck about you. They care about PR because good PR means more business, more money. Because people go like, oh yeah, Bethesda, they support gay rights. I'll support Bethesda. But Bethesda won't say anything about gay rights in the Middle East, and Russia, Turkey, and some other countries that literally make it illegal to be gay. So the point is, these corporations do not give a fuck about you as a person. They don't care about human rights and all these different things. They care about making money. So they try to do the bare minimum that they can to get the good PR without actually facing any consequences, but it ends up doing absolutely nothing. In the case of Activision with human rights, yeah, okay, you support human rights. How about the people of Hong Kong? And Bethesda, oh yeah, you support LGBT rights. How about the people of the Middle East? And then we have Epic Games, who recently decided to remove cop cars from the Fortnite Battle Royale. Because anyone who's played the game before would know that you'd have some cop cars scattered around the map here and there that you can use your gardening tool, whatever the fuck it's called, and get steel so you can build shit. Well, Epic Games recently updated Fortnite to remove those cop cars from the game. Why? To make a stand against police brutality. And we've seen similar shit happen in TV. The TV show Cops, which has been running for over 30 years, has been canceled completely. No more new episodes because we need to take a stand against police brutality. And with Fortnite, it seems like Epic is doing a similar thing. Remove cop cars, remove anything that have to do with police, because that's how we solve police brutality, by pretending that cops don't exist. Yeah, can someone explain that one to me? Like, I see a lot of people online that say, abolish the police should no longer exist, but I'm pretty sure the average person does not agree with that, because if something's wrong, if there's an emergency, if your friend got shot or something, who the fuck are you gonna call? You're gonna call the cops, you're gonna call 911, or whatever number you call in whichever country you live in. I think it's in Britain it's 999. I don't know. But you know what I'm trying to say. And I know this is a gaming channel and I'm not really supposed to get political. I try not to be. And I don't really think this is a political thing. It's saying we need the police, in my opinion, is like saying that the sky is blue, water is wet. It's just a fact of life. If we have no law enforcement, if we have no police, then how the fuck do we live in a civilized society instead of anarchy? Now, this isn't to say that the police are perfect and the cops are always right and you should always trust the police. I think we can all agree that what happened to George Floyd was fucked up and unacceptable. But the officer who did that, the officer who choked him to death, he is facing the consequences of his action. He is going to rot in a jail cell for the rest of his life, probably. And that's something that usually doesn't always happen. You have a lot of cops that use excessive force for no reason, which results in somebody's death. And typically the person being killed is a person of color. But if we hold those officers accountable, I think that'll make the situation a lot better. And it'll really do a lot in advancing the cause of Black Lives Matter and ending police brutality. You can end police brutality without ending the entire police department. So I don't think what Epic's doing is really productive, because all it really does is promote this idea that the police cannot be trusted, they shouldn't be respected or even acknowledged, which is not only unfair to the majority of police officers, because most police officers do not act like the officer who killed George Floyd. Most cops are good, despite what you hear from the media. And I think ultimately you're going to cost a lot more lives than are being lost right now if you promote this idea that you just can't rely on the police. The police are not there to help you, they're there to kill you. Like, how does promoting that idea make us any safer? It makes us a lot more unsafe. Because I can guarantee you, out of all the people that have died of police brutality, and that number is way too high, we need to bring it down, but I can still guarantee you that far more lives have been saved because of the police, because the police was there to help. So not only are these video game companies like Activision, Bethesda, Epic, not only do they show that they only give a fuck about the bottom line, they don't care about actual lives, they don't care about people, they're hypocrites. Because Bethesda, if you really care about advancing LGBT rights, why aren't you advocating for those rights in the places that need them the most, like the Middle East? And Activision, if you really care about human rights, why did you fine Blitzchung for speaking out against the Chinese government, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, human rights violator in the world? And remember their justification for that when it happened? Oh, we don't want to get political, we don't believe in political statements, but they made a political statement against police brutality and in support of Black Lives Matter. That's fine, but you can't stand up for the people of Hong Kong, the people of Tibet, the millions of Uyghur Muslims that are being rounded up and thrown into camps? No, you can't mention that, because that's too political. Give me a fucking break, and don't even get me started with Epic Games, a company that is 40% owned by Tencent, a Chinese investment firm. And that's the thing, in their hypocrisy, they're actually making the issue even worse, because they're not addressing the problem in the places in the world that need to be addressed the most, like in China, like in the Middle East, where human rights are being even more violated than they ever have been in these Western countries, and that's the truth. So these companies are really doing nothing to advance the causes of human rights. They're actually making it worse by neglecting the people who need that the most. And with Epic Games, is that really productive to vilify the police? How about you vilify the Chinese authorities in Hong Kong? Are you gonna do that? Hey, at least be consistent if you're gonna make a bold statement like that. But of course they won't do that, because they're a bunch of hypocrites. And that's the thing about corporations, they only care about the bottom line. They don't care about actual lives. And even if all these causes are just, even if they're the right thing to do is to put all these statements in the video games and Bethesda and all these companies, they didn't do anything wrong. They're not hypocrites, they're actually doing something really good. Even if that's true, like, it just reminds me that the one place where you can escape from all the bullshit in the real world, you can't escape from it anymore. Because not only is it all over TV and social media, it's in your video games too. And I'm getting sick of it.